Calling Dr. Red Flag. Please report to the front desk. The doctor is ready to see you now.
Dr. Red Flag here, coming in with a new message so we can grow and notice red flags together. There's a moment at the beginning of certain relationships that feels almost perfect. You meet someone and everything seems to click. The physical attraction is there, the conversation flows easily, the attention feels constant, they want to be around you a lot. And at first, it feels good. It feels like finally someone sees you, not just on the surface, but in a way that feels personal, intentional. They listen, they notice the small things, they remember what you say. They give you their time, their words, sometimes even gifts. And the more it happens, the more it pulls you in. Because attention, when it's consistent, can start to feel like connection. And connection, especially when you've been wanting it, can start to feel like certainty. That is it. This is it. That's the thought. Not because you're truly taking the time to understand who they are, but because of how they make you feel. And psychologically, that's where the shift begins. Because when someone enters your life with intensity, vast attention, constant presence, emotional or physical closeness, it can create something called rapid attachment. Rapid attachment. It feels like a bond forming quickly, but in reality, it's the brain responding to stimulation, validation, and emotional reward all at once. It's not always love. Sometimes it's overload. At first, you don't question it. You enjoy the calls, the texts, the time together, the feeling of being wanted. But slowly, something changes. When once felt like attention, or what once felt like attention, starts to feel like pressure. The calls become too frequent. The need of your time becomes constant. The start showing up without notice. The space you once had begins to shrink. And that protective energy, the one that initially felt comforting, starts to feel different, heavier, more controlling than caring. And that's when confusion sets in. Because how do you go from feeling seen to feeling suffocated? The answer is in the pattern. What felt like connection in the beginning may have actually been a lack of boundaries, a need for closeness that wasn't built over time, but pushed into place quickly. And when something is built that fast, it often doesn't have the foundation to support itself in a healthy way. So it starts to force itself. And when in a relationship becomes forced, you feel it. Conversations don't feel as natural. Time together doesn't feel as free. Your emotions start to shift, even if you can't fully explain why. But here's the part most people struggle with. You remember how it started? You remember how good it felt. So instead of recognizing what it's becoming, you hold on to what it was. Psychologically, that's called emotional anchoring. Emotional anchoring. Holding on to the initial experience and using it as proof that the relationship is still good, even when current reality says otherwise. And that's how people stay longer than they should. Not because they don't see the changes, but because they're hoping the beginning comes back. For both men and women, this pattern shows up the same way. They need to be seen, the desire to be chosen, the excitement of connection. But when those needs are met too quickly, too intensely, without balance, it can blur the line between genuine connection and emotional dependency. And once that line is blurred, it becomes harder to step back and see clearly. That's when the relationship no longer feels natural. It feels managed, maintained, forced into something it may not truly be. And the truth is, Real connection doesn't rush to take over your life. It doesn't demand all your time. It doesn't remove your space. It doesn't make you feel like you're losing yourself just to keep it. Real connection builds slowly, naturally, with room to breathe. So when something starts feeling intense and then begins to shift into pressure, that's not confusion, that's information. Because sometimes what feels right in the beginning is just something that moved too fast for you to see clearly. Signing off, Dr. Red Flag. Don't forget the message.
Calling Dr. Red Flag. Your assistance is needed.